What's up, y'all? What's good? I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, we live out here. We're gonna wait for a couple people show up. It's Saturday night. I think I'm on Yakima Avenue right now, and I ain't got no kids. Free Palestine. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. There's a lot of crimes going on across the nation right now, or should I say, across our realm that I think are crazy. Even though I'm not paying attention to the newest information that's popping off in the news, I try to stay away from the news as much as possible. It's draining, it's negative, so I try to stay away from it as much as possible and stay focused on everything that we have to take care of because there's so much to take care of. Well, my ethnicity, if we're going into modern terms, is dark skinned and white skinned. Light skinned, of course. White skinned. But again, we all know that all shades of color come from one being, which is human, right? Hue, H-U-E is Hue, Hue, man. But that comes from Nahuatl. That's the Nahuat, and the Nahuat is American. Nahuat has been brought into a lot of places. Aztec, Mayan. I'm not even gonna go into it right now. I hope all of y'all are doing amazing on this Saturday evening. What is today? The 11th, I think. We had a great Operation Wise Dome this morning. It was a workshop. If y'all are missing our Operation Wise Domes on Saturday mornings, you really shouldn't. You should try and stay in tune. I know I don't always post the links for Operation Wise Dome on YouTube, but if you're on the Facebook and or you're in the Discord, you should be able to get those fairly easily. Black's Laws Dictionary. You already know what's up. Let me see if I can see everybody's chats in here. I'm hoping I'm seeing everybody's. I really don't know. I don't want to mess up none. Uh, and this is kind of like, yeah. So I'm gonna just leave it be. If y'all want to give a like, that's cool. I know I ain't been live for a while. Y'all don't even understand the live. It's not like I'm not trying to be on YouTube. It's the amount of work that I'm actually doing on the back end through Discord. Hey, Mr. Osgood. Hey, Kashawn. Hey, Norm Longstaff. Hey, Audit Them. It really is just how busy I am on the back end through the Discord and directly with people all throughout the day. I mean, I start my day off at like 6:30 every day in meetings and working, and it just goes until I either have to get my get my girls, or I don't have my girls and we just stay working all night. But we are heavy on the back end. Y'all know I got 2 federal cases right now that are open. One against Washington State Patrol, and then one against Hood River. Hood River, just for an update with all of y'all, Hood River, they filed a summary judgment after we did the depositions with 3 of the officers and the chief. We did depositions so good that they ended up just, the attorney said, let's file for a summary judgment because honestly, let's keep it real. One of the officers really fucked up, and actually 2 different officers fucked up in their statements pretty heavily. And they said, let's file for a summary judgment. And then when I was speaking with the attorneys for the defendants in Hood River, they straight up told me that if you get through this summary judgment, which I'll get through it, then they're going to be talking about settlement. So we're looking at a settlement of, pretty high at a later point, but we're currently not there. Washington State Patrol, I just had a meeting not this past Friday, but the Friday before. Should I say a hearing. We had a hearing directly with the judge. We got in the second amended complaint. Yes, I had to amend the complaint twice. The only reason I amended the complaint is because I did not, I repeat, I did not, at this point in time in my life, want to combat qualified immunity for the state and or the agency under the state, which is Washington State Patrol. And the only reason I chose not to at this point is because I've got a 3rd federal suit that I got to start with Salem Police Department, and then I have a 4th federal lawsuit that I have to start on 1983 claim as well with Richfield Police in Washington. So for me, that's going to be 4 federal lawsuits all at one time, plus trying to help the people that I help, which currently right now stands at about 78 people with different situations in which they need just some research with, right? Research, educational purposes only, because I am not an attorney. I can't represent you, but I can help you do research, and that's what we do. I've been a researcher for a long time. But if you know anything about Operation Wise Dome and Cameron James Wilson, you know that the research encompasses way more than what you think. And we go heavy, and there's plenty of testimonials on that. One thing I wanted to tap into just briefly today, which I kind of spoke with, and I'll start looking at some of the chats here in a moment, but I just wanted to, the chat. So if y'all got some questions or things y'all want to tap into real quick. First off, there's 20 of y'all in here, and there's only 3 likes. So all 20 of y'all gonna have to get some likes real quick, if you don't mind. And then, but let's get into just a quick topic today. What I always find interesting is the cycling of new people in relation to certain information. And that information is the SPC, the back end GSA bonds, the back end, I'm going to go against the whole corporation and everything else that's going on out here. And I'm going to file paperwork with the IRS. And again, there's 23 of y'all in here and only 10 likes. Get them up. And just all of that. Okay. Now, what I have to do is I have to be honest with you and let you know that I've been 13 years plus researching. Okay. I am an old cat. I know I look a little bit younger, but I am 38 years old. Okay. I'm not a youngster, and I've been a geek for a very long time. I was the one hood nigga that would teach everybody everything, okay? And, dead ass, I was the one hood nigga that would teach everybody everything. And so, what I just want you to know is I've been in several secret societies. I've been in several different research groups. I can tap into Christopher Hauser right now. I can tap in with Brother Truth right now, even though I wouldn't. And y'all all know my good friend Brandon Joe Williams, right? So, with that being said, like, I can tap into anybody at any time. That's not to say anything other than I've been doing my research for a long time. And what I've come to find out over all of this is that there's a lot of people that do great research and bring forth great legal theories, but are unable to produce or show verified proof of what they've gone through and or dismissals, disqualifications, outright, whatever the case may be. And that's always, geez, this road is bad. And that's always been the crux for me, is whatever that you're talking about, can you show proof? Right? I've read all these books, Gene Keating, and you know, we know our boy, oh my gosh, I can't even remember Grandpa's name right now. Carl Miller, right? All you know, I mean, dude, the list goes on and on. I've read the Redemption Manual, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5. We've read them all, okay? And one thing that I just really want to address is that you got to remember that if you go into arguing those points, you're putting yourself again under your power. Your power lies in the point that you have and you are a creation of the Creator. You have to realize that. Nothing overcomes that. Period. There's nothing that overcomes that you are a creation of the Creator. So if you put yourself into a statutory code-based type argument, you see what I'm saying? You're lowering yourself from the highest tier that you currently already have. You're already the highest of authority. But when you put yourself into arguing their codes, their creations, you're lowering yourself. Okay? You need to comprehend that. That is the biggest thing. If you are sitting here saying that we are now going to utilize what they have formulated as a corporate structure to make my argument, you're lowering yourself down to a state of where you currently reside. whether you've given consent or not. Because whether you've given consent or not depends on the presentation and argument in which you're going to bring forth. Are you going to be bringing forth the strongest argument in full capacity and standing? And some people will use that, of course, in relation to public versus private, and I get it, right? But it truly doesn't matter about public versus private. What I honestly and know true to be fact is that when you stand on your capacity, your soul, your essence, your being, who you are, beyond this manifestation that is currently in front of me that I cannot understand fully, because the depth of my knowledge will not allow me to understand what I'm seeing. Because what I know is that there is a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and beyond that I am able to comprehend that is currently around me right now. Just as much as I can only see 40% of the light spectrum that comes from the sun, there is a whole nother 60% in which I cannot perceive. Okay? So how much deeper is that in relation to the life that lives around me that I'm unable to comprehend? That keeps this reality as what it is. To think there are not hierarchies that keep everything in order as it currently is right now around us, right? I mean, we look at our ancestors that could comprehend that and place a personification of wind, of earth, of all the elements that kept everything in order. Well, why is that? Because these are intelligences. Okay? These are elements that we've lowered again. Science has lowered down into a lowered comprehension. But when you get the lower comprehension, you can move up in levels to comprehend more. I'm sorry, I'm getting philosophical here and a little bit spiritual, a little bit deep. But again, that's what honestly plays in relation to knowing your rights. Okay? Knowing who you are. Once you know who you are, that's when you're able to utilize that to its fullest. When you step outside of the boundaries of fear, worry, doubt, and move into faith, knowing, and being, you begin to manifest what you envision. Bro, I'm telling you, my experiences go so deep. Like, man, and you know, like, some of us do not want to embrace the bad that comes in our life. We don't want to look at that. We don't want to embrace it. But you have to remember, like, let's say when I was studying into Godfrey Higgins in his volume 1 of Anacalypsis. And he has a volume 2. And when I was studying into Godfrey Higgins, Anacalypsis, number 1, volume 1, the very beginning of it is the comprehension of and how we, as where we are currently in this state, physical, not so much ambient, metaphysical, more spiritual, we began to perceive and comprehend in deeper things. There cannot be light without darkness, okay? Just as much as there cannot be good without bad. You have to appreciate both. If you are not appreciating both, you are losing. If you think that life is only supposed to be good, you are mistaken. You will never comprehend good without knowing the bad. Both must exist. In that, what are you doing with the bad? Are you utilizing the bad to grow, to strengthen yourself, and to become more? Or is it lowering you down into an animalistic state? Through experience, what I can do is help those who have not gone through the most dramatic experiences that one can go through in life. I mean, dude, who runs over a cop in their car? I have. Who looks down the barrel of a gun at least 4 times in their life? I have. Who's gone to prison? I have. Who has had heartbreak? I have. I mean, dude, any experience that you can literally think of, I've been through a lot of them, bro. And I know a lot of people don't want to go through them. And for me, I'm all about real, raw, and openness. Some people want to hide. things that they may be ashamed of. I ain't ashamed of anything, because life is life. And through all your experiences, what you're able to do is you're able to help the next person as you go through life. And so with all the experiences that I have, all I can honestly say is I'm thankful. All I can say is I thank the great creator for every experience of at least being here in this life. Um, and all I want to do is empower the next person in every manner that I possibly can. And so with that, what I want to say is throughout all of my experiences in the 38 years now, I've learned that love is given from the great creator. That's number one. Unconditional love is very hard to find. Very hard to find, because you have to know God truly to have unconditional love. And I've learned through my experiences that I'm going to be that light that rekindles another light within other people. Because what we've ended up having, as I can see, is a diminishing of the great creator, a diminishing of people who look out for each other, a suffocation of empowerment freely, just free empowerment without a dollar sign beside it, um, and a significant dollar sign at that. I just want y'all to really realize that I truly feel, and no matter what, I will always continue to try and heal relationships that I think should be mended. Because in life, you got to really understand that tomorrow you could be gone. And so what you're looking at is that if tomorrow you could be gone, everything that's in front of you and what you're currently going through is nothing but a speed bump, not a cliff. And if you look at everything as a speed bump rather than a cliff, meaning that you have to sever a relationship, if you mend a relationship, how much more powerful are you? That you bared through travesty and maybe what certain textbooks and society has said is not worth doing. I think we've succumbed ourselves to a society that believes that we should all operate in certain ways because of textbooks and cultures. But we also have to remember that we set our own precedent and we believe in our own way. And sometimes succumbing to another culture's belief is not the best way. Sometimes the best way is to internalize, meditate, and bring forth what you feel is the best option for you and not what's in a textbook. And at the core of all of it, I am you, we're us, and we are all a part of this great I am, because this is God. Horton hears a who, okay? Horton hears a who. And as above is so below. That's why the Freemasons say it all this time. That's why the Rosicrucians, all these secret societies talk about it. As above, so below. Just as much as within me, on the higher with the organs, you can zoom in a little bit lower and there's another civilization. And you can zoom in a little bit lower and there's another organization. This is all operating off of intelligence in which I do not control. Okay? So just that perception alone allows you to understand that there are intelligences within intelligences and intelligences above us. Okay? And that this reality is so far deep that you will never comprehend it all the way. But if you do comprehend that what you bring forth in reality through your mind, okay, and thought and translation, there are people that control this physical reality far beyond what you've ever known. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've shown it, I've spoken about it. It's not just about law with me. I'm deep in the metaphysical, I'm deep in the spiritual, and I'm deep in history, I'm deep in ancestry, I'm deep in genealogy, I'm deep in empowering you. And all I ever want to see in this life is you to become the greatest version of you that you can possibly be. And if I ever get in conflict with you in any form or fashion, just know that it's because I'm wanting you to become better. Just as much as I'm wanting you to point me out to become better. I will take constructive criticism all day, every day. Please give it to me. And don't be the person that's like, oh, I don't want to tell him because he may be offended. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get offended and fix myself. I hope this 11th of October is a blessing to you. I hope that you realize that tomorrow you may be gone, and that wherever you have conflict with whoever you have conflict with needs to be repaired and restored. Fix what needs to be fixed. Love who you need to love. Cherish who you need to cherish. And be the best that you can be every day. I am you and we are us, and we are all a part of the great I am. I love you. I love you so deeply.